All right, everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do just a quick video on cross manning. I had several comments asking how do we stop some of these route combinations. So we've done tons of videos already this season on dollar, dime, 4-3-6-1, basically just defenses, all the defensive adjustments, how to stop corners, that type of thing. But one thing we haven't really covered is cross manning. So cross manning was originally sort of came out of this Cover 4 package. And what we'd be looking at here is we would be taking our two inside safeties and we would be cross manning them up, okay? So here, we've got a trips offensive set. We press triangle, triangle, L1, up on the right stick, and X, triangle, triangle, R1, up on the right stick, and we press circle, okay? So that's cross manning. What is the purpose of cross manning? What does it really do? Well, there are really two things. One, you're creating leverage. You're creating either inside or outside leverage, right? So let's say that number 17 here, Plaxico Burress, let's say that he's on a crosser. Well, this safety over here is going to come down and meet him. So when the route starts to break to where they'd be looking for him, all of a sudden Carmichael's on him, right? And it really can mess up somebody's timing or their scheme because they see that receiver going out, they see the user taking somebody else, and like here, let's say I dart over here for some reason, right? Or I dart maybe back here for some reason, right? But we've got that slot receiver manned up on the inside. He creates inside leverage for that window right about here if there was a crosser, right? If it was a drag, we would come down, the safety would come down and meet him right about here, right? And the same thing goes for Clark, right? If the tight end is on a post or a crosser, Clark is going to have inside leverage when that throw is about to occur, right? Unless they seam streak, which is going to be really difficult with a lot of defenses, right? With the way this is set up. So that's really what cross manning is all about, right? And if we did something like this, we could go triangle, triangle, square, and we could put him, in a deep half, triangle, triangle, circle. We put him in a deep half, right? So we'd basically be having a cover 4 look, and then we would probably take our linebacker and put him in the middle third. So now we've got a cover 3, but we've got cross manning going on, right? And as our user is right here, right, then we're free to, we don't have to worry about these inside guys. We kind of have to worry about this running back and maybe these two outside guys. If it's a corner, these guys will take care of that, right? So, and that's a common thing out of trips. You might have a short route coming from this guy, and you might have a corner route coming from this guy, right? So that's kind of what it is. Let's go ahead and let this play out, and I'll just kind of show you the concept here. See that? So if we go into the instant replay, that tight end goes out. We've got him cross man. We've got inside leverage. That is one of the most ridiculous windows you could ever throw into. It's essentially triple coverage there, right? But we have inside leverage. If he waited just a second, if that was not a CPU, we would have inside leverage there, and we would be able to basically snuff that route, right? As essentially we did anyway. Okay, so that's essentially what cross manning is. You can do that with anybody, right? But one of the neat tricks with cross manning is in the sort of side field game, sort of outside the numbers or right around the numbers. So these two outside receivers, a common thing might be to have a streak here with this guy and a corner with this guy, or vice versa. Maybe you streak him and you corner him, right? A common play out of this, again, a short route here and a corner route here. So let's bank on that. So let's go triangle, triangle, L1, up on the right stick, square, triangle, triangle, square, up on the right stick triangle. We have now just sort of done, it's like a mini, it's a mini crossman, right? And what that's going to do is, if we guess right, it's going to create leverage, okay? It's going to create leverage on the inside with this receiver. If he comes up for a drag or a crosser or even a slant, we've got inside leverage built in because the defensive back is right here. If this guy goes, say, on a flat or an out route or a corner, we've got him manned up, right? And we would take, I don't know what the computer just did there. That was weird. Triangle, 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 and we'll put him in a deep half. Triangle, triangle, R1 in a deep half, right? And then we'd probably put our linebacker in, again, in a cover 3, right? So we've got this cross-manned over here on the left with outside leverage over here and for this inside receiver, and inside leverage over here for this outside receiver, right? And we can see how this plays out. I'm going to go ahead and just dart toward Bo Jackson, the tight end, because he's going to be coming out on a route. But let's go ahead and see how this plays out. Did you see that? That is exactly what cross manning can do, right? Let's look at the instant replay and let's focus over here. Okay, let's just go ahead and scoot. Inside leverage and then outside leverage, right? And boom, there's Tariq Woolen, right? Woolen came from the outside and picked that corner route off, right? And this is what cross manning can do, you guys. And again, that was my first attempt, right? There's no editing in this video or anything like that. That's just my first attempt. We just cross manned those two outside receivers, and that little adjustment alone, I showed you in another video how actually powerful that adjustment can be, but you just got to see it firsthand, right? It can really throw things off. Cross-manning concepts, they're simple, but they can really disrupt routes. And that is the main goal. Remember, everything we're doing on defense, we are trying to disrupt, right? It's no different than if we man up the tight end, man up the running back, and create this sort of cover 2 man concept on the left side, right? And then we have a sort of a soft squat just sitting there, right? We could actually blitz him if we wanted to, right? And then look at that, right? We still have our blitz. We've got a cross man. We've got a cover 2 man on the other side, and we're good to go. The biggest thing we have to really worry about is this slot receiver, right? Because we've got the tight end and the running back manned up, and we've got deep help. So we need to worry about this slot receiver, the middle of the field, and if anything's going back. And it's very easy for our eyes to scan because we're only really looking over here at this guy because everybody else is manned up, okay? And, this linebacker has inside leverage. This cornerback has outside leverage, okay? If they were directly over, the receiver may very well have the advantage, except for bottleneck and, things like that, right? But this receiver might have an advantage if he does a zig. Well, my guy's just going to get burned, right? But now we have these cross man. A zig is not going to work with this guy, right? This receiver. So look at how we've simplified our life. And we can just let this play out. And you can see what happens there, right? Let's check the replay. So we have The outside receivers cross-manned. We have sort of a cross-manning over here on the right side, and then we've left ourselves pretty much just wide open to cover, Plaxico Burress, number 17, right? And watch what this does. Boom. He throws that. There's nothing open on this play. Maybe that guy got torched a little bit. There might be a corner route, but we saw an interception from that on the first demonstration that I gave you. So here we are. We've got Mailata manned up on Bo Jackson, and we've got a pick. So again, that is cross-manning, essentially. The concepts are great, right? It basically creates either inside or outside leverage for your defenders, right? And it can disrupt plays, right? It can disrupt passing routes. Cross-manning is something that you can throw in. I really like the short cross-manning over here, but I do want to give you one little caveat, and we've got those guys cross-manned, okay? Let's say that this guy, okay, because we have outside leverage, let's say that this guy just goes on a simple drag. We're fried, right? We are fried. And that's something that can happen. So as a user, you're going to need to think about that. Okay, so as you're covering this guy, because this is really the only guy you got to worry about along with the middle of the field if we don't make any more adjustments, right? Middle field and deep here, right? But if this guy comes across on the drag, you really don't have anything. You might have this vert hook here, but we would probably do something like this, right? So you don't really have anything until all the way where this soft squat's going to be. And that soft squat may very well be taken up, right? So if this guy has immediate inside leverage, right? This guy has immediate outside leverage. So you need to be careful. That's really the only caveat to cross-manning. If you do it and you guess wrong, they're going to have a wide open receiver, right? You're generally pretty safe with this sort of short cross-manning over here. And when you cross-man between, in a cover 4, the 2 inside safeties, right? If you cross-man those guys, or 2 inside defensive backs, if you cross-man those guys, you're generally pretty safe, but they may not be able to get to the routes until 7 yards maybe, right? So there are risks to this. Plus you're taking entire zones off the field and you need to compensate for that. But the setups I've shown you in this video do compensate for those. So really the only thing where we could have really gotten burned with the cross-manning was this guy right here if they put him on a drag or a slant or even a post. So that's really it, you guys. That is cross-manning in a nutshell. It's a tool that you have in your tool bag that you can pull out at any point in time. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Be on the lookout for the next one. And as always, have a great day.